For more on the matchup, we say hello again to CBS NBA insider Bill Reiter and our friend in the desert, the Wizard of Odds, Kenny White. Fellas, this is a Sixers team that, with a week to play, still had a shot at the top overall seed in the Eastern Conference. Instead, they slide back to 4 and now face a tough Raptors team that bows to nobody. Sixers given 4.5 at home in Game 1, totals 216 on the number. Kenny White, what's between these two?
I wish I had a Tim Doyle joke, Joe, like this is the girl that you should have taken to the prom. Instead of you tried to take the Lakers to the prom and they let you down. You should have taken the Raptors to the prom because they would have treated you right. So I think this is a really good team. Nick Nurse has really been a guy that I think has done a great job coaching in the NBA because he's able to relate to the players, but he's able to teach still. And he's able to put great systems in both offensively and defensively. His team does play to the level of the competition. But you know what? They're going to step up and play to the level of the competition in this series. But it's their defense that I think they're going to rely on here. And again, the pace is going to be slow. We are 6-0 to the under so far. So my play in this one is going to be under the total, under 216.5. Again, Toronto 27th in pace. Philadelphia number 25 in pace.
I don't have a joke, but I do have a hard-learned life lesson, and that is when you make mistakes and life beats the hell out of you because of it, you just adopt rules. For example, my wife is always right, always ride with Kenny White on the under, don't go in the ocean in Los Angeles and Southern California after it rains, and never, ever, ever, ever believe in or bet money on James Harden or one of his teams in the postseason, ever. And so there's going to be a theme here. I think the Raptors cover this game. I think they compete in this game. I think there's a chance they win this game, and Kenny just walked us through it. This is a really good Toronto team that I guess everybody, if I got it right, should have taken to the prom. They're going to know that they got jilted. Nick Nurse might be the best coach in the NBA, and I don't trust Philly, and I certainly don't trust James Harden. I love Toronto to cover here.
All right, taking a look at the player prop market. The process will be in full effect. Vegas putting Embiid's point prop at 33.5. That's plenty enough to scare me away. Bill, maybe we fall in line here with the theme. We go precedent place, set our sights on a bearded playoff fade, if you will.
Yeah, all right, here. This is I'm going hard on the under, and it's what? Now it's up to 22.5. Here's the deal, though. This is math. This is like playing poker. If you're grinding out at the 2-4 tables, you got to play the long run here. You take Harden on the under almost every game of his postseason career, and in the long run, we're all going to make money together. I'm doing it every game, including this one. He'll have some nights where it feels like he's confident he's going to get it done, but this is a guy who's widely inefficient when there's pressure. There's massive pressure for all the obvious reasons on Harden in particular and Philly this season. Toronto's going to be defensively stifling, and they're going to go at James Harden and understand if he plays like just another guy, it doesn't matter what Embiid does. Harden's under for me. While not a lock, it certainly is in the long run.
Yeah, total agreement, Bill. If we go under with Harden every single game in this series, because I think this is the only series that Philadelphia will play, we're going to make money here. I'm going under today. That's my player prop. And looking at what he's done, his median for the entire time in Philadelphia is 22 points per game. But that was after, and that's counting the honeymoon. You take the honeymoon out when he really played well early on. That number is only 20 points per game. And looking at his games versus Toronto, 17 points and 13 points. He was 8 for 24 shooting, 1 for 8 from three-point range. The Raptors' defense is just too much for James Harden. We're going under, me, Bill, and I, in every single game that he plays.
I love all the different factors that Kenny White brings into the fold here. He removes the honeymoon numbers from this one. There's always an interesting way to frame it, and our guy does it better than anyone. All things considered, guys, the odds makers are quite open to the idea that Toronto could not only make a series of this, but even win the thing. Raptors only plus 160 on the series price. To me, I see a short number favorite with real finals type talent, but Kenny, you see it differently.
Yeah, I do. These two teams are one's an underachiever, one's an overachiever. Philadelphia on the entire season, 37 and 45 ATS in all their games. They underachieved to the betting number. Toronto, 46 and 36 to the betting number. They overachieved. And when you have an overachiever versus an underachiever, take that overachiever every time. And Bill talked about the other day with Philadelphia playing in Toronto, Matisse Thybulle will not be playing in those games. He's their best defensive player. That's really going to hurt without him in the lineup. You wouldn't think so because he's not one of the superstars, but he actually is an up-and-coming superstar because he can really play defense, and his offense continues to get better. So he is a 2-point drop-off. That helps the Raptors a lot in this series.
Yeah, Thibault is such a good player. He is what, if you watch the game last night, what Herb Jones is for the Pelicans, which is just the energy that sometimes doesn't always show up in the box score. I get it, Joe. I get the value, but I'm with Kenny. I love the Raptors in this series. I'm going to bet the Raptors straight up and to get a little more value because the number's not where you thought it might be for a name and a team as significant as betting against the Sixers and Joel Embiid. I'll probably parlay it with some other series or some other props that are out there. But I think the Raptors are a really good bet because they're they are a better basketball team than the Philadelphia 76ers. As Kenny noted, when they're at home, they will be going up against a much less defensively impressive Sixers basketball team. And that's before we get into the Harden effect. And I think Kenny said 8 of 24 and 1 of 8 in one of the games against the Raptors early in the year. That is the most James Harden postseason stat line I've ever heard in my entire life. There will be 2 or 3 of those in this series, I promise you.
Full disclosure, there is a lot of Philly support here on the production side at HQ. Bill Reiter will be in studio later today. Tread lightly, my friend. Let's take a look at those picks once again. Bill Reiter's taking the Raptors, catching the 4.5 in game 1. He's fading James Harden, and on the series price, he cannot pass up that $1.62. His dollar, Kenny White in lockstep there at the plus 160. He's playing game 1 under the 216. Maybe a plotting pace here in game 1, but he is also taking James Harden under 22.5 points.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.